songs are one of the most powerful ways to put things in the brain and help children remember. I'm going to share a few simple stories with you. The first one is a file folder story. And when you tell these stories to children, they'll probably say, do it again, do it again, do it again. Whenever you repeat them, that gives them confidence, and that helps them become familiar with the story, and then they can learn to retell the story. So once upon a time, there was a little black cat, and he got tired of being black. So he said, say it with me, I'm Scat the Cat, I'm sassy and fat, and I can change my colors just like that. And he changed from being a black cat to being a blue cat. He went down to the pond to look at himself, and he accidentally fell in. Now, when Timmy Turtle came along and took him to shore, Scat decided he didn't want to be blue anymore, and he said, say it with me, I'm Scat the Cat, I'm sassy and fat, and I can change my colors just like that. And he changed from being a blue cat to being a red cat. He went walking down the road, and the other animals started laughing at him. Who ever heard of a red cat? So Scat decided he didn't want to be red anymore, and he said, I'm Scat the Cat, I'm sassy and fat, and I can change my colors just like that. And he changed from being a red cat to being a green cat. He went to play with his brothers and sisters in the grass, but they couldn't see him because he was green like the grass. So Scat decided he didn't want to be green anymore, and he said, I'm Scat the Cat, I'm sassy and fat, and I can change my colors just like that. And he changed from being a green cat to being a yellow cat. He went walking in the woods, and who did he run into but his cousin Leo the lion? Leo the lion said, "Rawr, I'm the only cat who can be yellow." So Scat decided he didn't want to be yellow anymore, and he said, I'm Scat the Cat, I'm sassy and fat, and I can change my colors just like that. And he changed back into being a black cat, because being yourself is the best thing that you can be, and I like you just the way you are. Now, what are children learning with this? So many things. They're learning colors, they're learning a sequence and a pattern, they're learning rhyme, oral language, and most importantly, I like you just the way you are. Now, if you'd like to make this story, we've got a link where you can download the pattern. If you cut a cat out of the front of the file folder, and then you glue the words to the back, it will look like you know the story, and you can just read it off the back of the file folder. This is another idea for creative storytelling with the children. And you can buy flannel boards, but look at this one. It's just staples on the sides of a file folder, and you've got felt glued to the front, and then you can put the pieces in here. And this idea came from a teacher who said that this was the most popular prop in her storytelling center, because what she did was she put Velcro on the back of the children's pictures. But she said their favorite thing was her, because they would take her. I told you to sit down now. Now get over here and listen to this story. If you want to see what you sound like, give the children a little puppet of you, and you might be surprised. I think it would also be fun to maybe have some of your other school helpers, maybe the principal, maybe the PE teacher, bus drivers, things like that, for the children to interact and make up some stories. This is a story that I used to tell around Halloween, and I would start telling it the beginning of October, and my children wanted to hear it every day, so I would tell it each day. At the end of the day, let one child take it home. The parents love this story so much, I also gave them a copy of this story. And so a lot of the things that you do, they kind of get confused by the time they get home. But if you think about putting these stories or the finger plays or the rhymes on your website or sending them home with the children, then it will enable the parents to retell the story at home with their own children. So this is about a little old lady who lived in an orange house that was half a circle with a chimney at the bottom. Now, this little old lady was the nicest little old lady in the neighborhood, and all the children used to love to go to her house and see her and talk to her. But she had a little cat, and the cat had a long squiggly tail. So she had to have a special door built just for that cat so it could go in and out and in and out. And there's the door for the cat. Now, she also had 2 little pet birds. And she wanted to have a special window for the little birds so they could fly in and out and in and out. So she had a little round window built for those birds. And she always wore a pointed hat that would fall off. So she had the carpenters come and they fixed the door so her pointed hat wouldn't fall off every time she went in and out. Now on Halloween night, all the boys and girls from the school near her house came to the door and they knocked on the door. She said, "Close your eyes. Close your eyes, everybody. Close your eyes. Surprise! It's a jack-o'-lantern." Here is another story. You can either tear the paper or you can cut it with scissors. With either one of those, it doesn't matter. This is a spring story because in the springtime, Mother Bird and Father Bird decided to build a nest. And what are some things that you think they used to build their nest? And I would let the children call out leaves and sticks and grass and different things that they might use to build a nest. And you know, birds are natural recyclers. They can't go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy the stuff they use to build their nest. They just have to find it and recycle it and reuse it. So Mother Bird and Father Bird built the nest, and Mother Bird sat on the nest and she laid a beautiful egg. And she tucked the egg down in the nest. And when the wind would blow, she'd have to sit there. And when it would storm, she'd have to sit there. And when it would lightning and thunder, she'd have to sit there. She had to protect her little egg and keep it warm. Now, fortunately, she made friends with some little bugs who lived in the tree. And there's one little bug, and he would come every day and talk to Mother Bird. And here's the other little bug, and she'd come every day and talk to Mother Bird so she wasn't so lonely. Now, after Mother Bird had sat on the egg a long time, she heard a little crack, and she looked down, and there was a little crack in the egg. And then she heard a great big crack, and she looked down, and there was a great big crack in the egg. And do you know what came out of that egg? Out came a little baby bird. This is a tell and draw story. One day, my dog Bingo disappeared. So I went to the park to see if I could find my dog Bingo. When I got there, I accidentally stepped in a pile of bumblebees. And they came out and they swarmed all around me. I wanted to get away from them, so I saw a pond of water. And I jumped in the pond, but they were still there. I saw a big hill, so I ran to the top of the hill. And when I got to the top of the hill, I saw 2 doors with 2 doorknobs. I knocked on the doors and I said, "Let me in, let me in." But nobody heard me and nobody let me in. So I ran down one side of the hill, and then I ran down the other side of the hill. Has anybody seen my dog Bingo? Now when you do this with the children, they'll say, "There's your dog, there's your dog." And when you retell this story, don't use the name Bingo. Use your dog's name. So if your dog's name is Rascal or your dog's name is Baxter, whatever it might be, use your dog's name in the story. Before long, if you keep telling this story, the children will be able to tell you what part comes next. And that's so good for sequencing and retelling a story, which is one of your standards.